Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Sorcery. Previously, our adventures continued along in Kare. We were sent back in time to the beginning of this adventure in the city for another shot at finding the magical passwords which can control the North Gate. And as it happens, we ran into Flanker again, and this time around in the time loop, I won the game of dice, securing our ownership of him, for lack of a better word. And now, Flanker and I are teaming up to go to the secret abode of the Council, their secret meeting place. So, we're in for a nice buddy-buddy adventure here. Let's get going. Finally, you arrive outside an ordinary-looking building. This is it, he declares. Wait here, and I will go inside. He disappears through the door. Look over the house, try the door. Well, let's follow his advice. We'll wait. Look over the house. The house into which Flanker has gone is just that, surely. The windows are thick bottle glass, and the door is tarred wood, studded with rivets and painted black. The roof, only a single story up, is overgrown with weeds. Other identical dwellings stand either side. Still nothing. The building in front of you does not seem like any council chamber. Perhaps this is a trap. Walk away, try the door, knock on the door. Look through the windows. You peer in through one of the windows, but the glass is so thick and heavily streaked on the inside with candle grease that you cannot make out anything. Okay, I trust Flanker. Wait. You wait. Flanker does not reappear. Wait. Minutes pass. One more wait. Time passes. In the distance, you hear the sound of cartwheels rattling down the cobbles from the dock. They are quickly lost in the bustle of Lower Kare. Okay, surely nothing bad could happen if I wait a fourth time. Oh. You hear the footsteps of the guard marching past. Perhaps they will come here, but then they turn away. This place, it seems, is not even important enough to warrant a visit. Okay, knock on the... No, wait. Long minutes pass. Wait. Time passes. Okay, I'm going in. Ignoring Flanker's instructions, you try the door. It is unlocked. Inside. You are in a wide room. Chairs line the walls, but there is no other furniture. If this is someone's house, then it has been meticulously robbed. But if not, you cannot see what function it does serve. But it cannot be abandoned. A fire in the hearth blazes out heat. There is no sign of Flanker anywhere. But there are also no other doors. Look at the fire. You go over to the fire to warm your hands. It seems normal enough, unlike the one in the abandoned house you visited earlier. Yeah, I was going to say. A voice booms out from nowhere. Please, it says, be seated. Sit down. You choose a seat close to the fire and sit down. Something strange happens the moment you take your weight off your feet. It is as though the far wall no longer exists. In its place is a long hallway lined with cloth banners and torches on brass poles. Two guards stand halfway down the hallway, and between them, you see Flanker deep in conversation. Why would Flanker be trying diplomacy? He's an assassin. Let's approach. Oh. You stand to approach. The wall remains invisible. It seems you're at the front of the queue to approach the council. You make your way into the inner hall. Flanker seems to be conferring with both the guards, but they are not moving aside, and continue to block his way along the corridor. Clearly he is hoping to gain you an audience with the nobles, but he is not managing to succeed. I'm sorry, the first guard is saying. The council is in session and cannot be disturbed. Flanker is shaking his head. That is incorrect, as you well know. I'm afraid the council is in session, the guard repeats, louder now. Then I need to see them, you declare firmly. No one sees the council when they are in session, the guard replies primly. See what Flanker does, draw my sword, cast a spell. What does Flanker think? You hang back to see what Flanker will do. The assassin bows his cowled head. I am sorry for your family, he says quietly. Then a moment later, his long steel blade is in his hands and at the neck of one of the guards. Attack the other guard. I got your back, buddy. The two guards leap into defensive postures, wielding their halberds, weapons with a reach, hard to defend against, and capable of doing unusual amounts of damage. Right, so I'm injured as hell. I don't have a lot of wiggle room here. Look, we have the initiative. We initiated this fight. We might have caught them on surprise. Maybe they're on the back blow. Do I want to go all out and, overpower them? Or are they just going to guard straight up? I don't know. Better safe than sorry. Let's go for a nice 6.8. Nice. The guard raises his halberd. He is clearly shaking with fear, hardly surprising since Flanker is already besting his comrade. You rush him quickly and smoothly. The council guard responds with a tough blow, balancing strength and impact. But he has misjudged your strength, and you knock him back. Alright, so that was a middling blow from him to start off. I think he might be going on the defensive, trying to regain his ground. I think we're good to go with another similar power blow. Let's go for a flat 7. Aha. Relentlessly, you cut and thrust, keeping the guard pinned. You swing your sword fast, in towards his chest, overwhelming his own staff swing. His breath begins to heave. He is struggling to hold his halberd up, and the other guard is faring little better. Right. So our full power here won't be enough to overpower his potential full power blow. But even if he guards and does a 0, I can still damage him and win. So I think this all-in strategy is worth it. Your next strike is a masterclass in fine swordplay. You slash violently across his chest. It is enough to finish him. The guard collapses backwards against the stone floor of the chamber. At the same time, you hear a second scream. The other fight has ended as well. Flawless fighting. Flanker has cut his man down as well. You and your comrade clean your blades. Flanker says a short prayer and then tastes a fingertip of blood from his victim. Opening the door, he gestures for you to go first. Strange ritual, but cool. Alright. I'm not expecting even a single council member to be here, but there could be some sort of clue. Anything. This is the main council chamber of Kare, a wide room with a domed roof supported by tall pillars, ornately carved with monsters, serpents, and instruments of torture. In the center, 12 throne-like seats are arranged in a circle. 12? I thought there were only 4? Oh, okay. Are arranged in a circle, with one on a raised dais, presumably the seat of the first noble. All are empty. A chalk circle has been drawn just inside the Ring of Thrones. Flanker frowns. This is not right, he muses. Walk into the circle. No, circles are bad things to step into. Walk around the chairs. You make a slow circle of the chairs, Flanker doing likewise in the other direction. No one here, he remarks. No secret doors, no hidden passages. You notice the chairs all have names on their backs. Look at the names. The throne of the first noble has the name Sansis embossed in gold leaf on its back. The names on the others are smaller and fashioned from plain iron. Molus, Tiffin, Loreg, Shinva, Zirin, and Theta. It would seem that none of the chairs have been sat in for a very long time. Sit in the throne? Wait. Oh, I misclicked. Wow, that's scary. You approach the chalk circle. It appears to be just what it seems, a circle inscribed on the stone floor of the room. The only remarkable thing about it is how perfect it is. It is a flawless curve. Rather too well drawn, Flanker says, echoing your thoughts. That makes me suspicious. Sit in the throne. You walk back to the first noble's chair and lower yourself down, crossing your legs and surveying the room. Flanker looks up from his forensic investigations of the chalk circle with amusement. Yes, see, he knows. Right, so walk into the circle. That seems to be the only lead that's here. We know that all circles in Kare are traps. They teleport you to another location. Because I remember that one thing where we saw the crowd gathered around the circle and they tossed stones in there and they would disappear. It sends you somewhere else. Is this a case where the teleportation is good? I don't know. Like, we know that, according to Flanker, every teleportation circle is on the east side of the city, but we're still here on the west side of the river. And this is a circle that's, well, in the council room. I don't know. I don't like it. I just don't like it. We'll leave. There's nothing here. This has been a waste of time, you remark to Flanker. The assassin shakes his head. Perhaps I have learned something. He points to the circle on the floor. Do you see that? I think it is a portal trap. Right. I know about portal traps already. Good, Flanker replies. But how is there one here? The first noble controls the portal traps. Why would he place one inside his own council chamber? It makes no sense. Something very untoward is occurring in the city, and I must find out what. He sweeps towards the door. Step into the trap, leave with him. I gotta know. With his attention turned, you take a deep breath. You step towards the chalk circle. You feel nothing as you cross the boundary, but one moment you are in the council chamber. Then your foot touches nothing inside, and you are falling. Oh, hell no. You land with a splash in dark and filthy water. This is a tunnel filled with the worst stench you can imagine. Things splash and scurry through the darkness. You pass a heap of black cloth, a huddled creature? Where are we? Wait, this is... Okay, this is not the sewer on the east side. Oh, wow, we're... Wow, okay, so new sewers. Hopefully this goes better for me. Alright, investigate. You creep over to the huddled rags, the shape of a man leaned over, clutching his knees. but it does not seem to be moving. Touch it, run it through, leave it. Touch it. It collapses at the slightest touch and you breathe a sigh of relief. Just a piled up cloak, discarded by some previous unfortunate who traveled this way. Examine the cloak. You sift through the heavy cloth. This was a fine cloak once before it was left to rot down here. Stitched on the back is a number 1 in a circle. Waterlogged, the cloak is too heavy to carry away, but it proves that others come this way before. 1 in a circle. Curious. Okay, walk on. I suppose we'll just have to reunite with Flanker some other time. The sewer turns a corner here, with other tunnels blocked by filth-strewn wreckage. Okay, I'm desperate for anything that can help me. Search the wreckage. You steel yourself and dig through a foul filth in the wreckage, trying not to vomit from the stench. You come across a small glass bottle. Uncork it. You uncork it and take a sniff. Blimberry. You stash it into your pack. Oh, hell yeah. Sewer food. Right. Items. Magical items. Blimberry. Drink. Oh, healed. Good. I don't feel so fragile anymore. Walk on. You walk onwards through the dark sewer when suddenly the tunnel opens into a low chamber. Alright, where's the giant sewer monster? I'm ready. You stand ankle deep in filth in a square chamber. Icy droplets fall from the ceiling. The smell is terrible. But this is not just any sewer, it is the corner of a room is a pile of rags. Someone or something lives down here. Look around the room, walk on. Rags. You dig into the rags and clothing. They must have formed someone's bedding, as they could never have been clothing, strips and odd squares of cloth of all different kinds. They have probably been scavenged from what people threw down the drains into the sewers. Dig through more carefully. Digging into some old pockets, you find a few gold pieces. Oh. Suddenly you find yourself itching and scratching. The rags are covered in fleas, and now they are biting you as well. The thought occurs to you, perhaps this is not the hiding place of a beggar, but the nest of some terrible beast. A sudden rush of water floods the chamber, soaking you up to the waist. A moment later, it is washed away once more, but there might be more coming. Okay. So we're flea-bitten. That's not good. Let's walk on. Get out of here. You walk onwards through the sewer. Shadowy shapes loom out of the darkness, then disappear as you move close. You walk for what seems like an hour, maybe more. The tunnel tilts lower and lower. Perhaps you're going underneath a river. The sound of fast-rushing water fills the tunnel. I want to keep my stamina. Keep walking. You keep walking. The sound of rushing water is growing louder. That's just a waterfall nearby, right? Around the corner. Suddenly, you realize the sound is not coming from close by the tunnel or through the walls. The sound is coming towards you. Somewhere, a wall of water is approaching and an old dam must have given way. The river water is now flooding the tunnel. Okay, pray for aid, shelter in an alcove, run for it, take a deep breath. When was the last time we prayed for aid? I forget, but I feel like it might have been the rolling boulder back in Act 1. I think our best shot here is shelter in an alcove. Let's try that. You dive into an alcove in the side of the tunnel as a great wave pounds into the tunnel. But it fills the sewer completely, and you're quickly pulled from your hiding place as though by 1,000 hands and submerged. The water wrenches you from the floor and throws you into a swirling spiral. You can see nothing but the murk and the filth. At least, you think wryly, you are getting a wash. Swim for it! The impact is so sudden that you have no time to prepare. You have only a few moments of air left. Your lungs are bursting for air. Swim with the current, swim against the current, swim down to escape the flow, swim up for a sealing duct. No. I think our best shot is to go with the flow, with the current and pray. The current is whipping you this way and that like a fetal bug in a thunderstorm. It is all you can do to work out which way is up and which way is down. You fight and struggle to get your body under control, losing valuable seconds of air. With the current, you swim with the current, which tears you along the length of the sewer. The ground level is rising below. At some point, perhaps, you will break the surface of the water, but it has not happened yet. You cannot last much longer. One more with the current. You swim on with the current, moving at breakneck speed. The air in your lungs gives out. There is nothing you can do. Your mouth opens and the filthy water of the Jibaji River floods into your lungs. You have drowned in the sewers under Kare. Okay, I feel like I should have swam up there at the last bit. Let's try that now. Alright, this time, take a deep breath. There's nothing else for it. You take a deep breath, exhale. Take a deep breath, exhale, and then fill your lungs as best as you can as a great wave strikes. The water wrenches you from the floor and throws you into a swirling spiral. I'm getting a wash. For the moment, at least, you're calm and can focus, even in the roaring torrent. With the current. With the current. Bursting for air. With the current. Can't last much longer. Swim up. You swim up towards the roof of the sewer, hoping to find an air pocket to refresh your breath. But you are out of luck. Your head hits the arched stone ceiling, which is fully submerged. Even the ducts running up are filled with water. There is no air to be had down here. Swim up a duct. Lungs bursting, you reach a duct in the ceiling. Once inside, it wrenches you upwards with powerful force. The stonework either side is a blur, and you crash, scraping bane into the sides painfully. Then, suddenly, you are spat up into wider, colder water, lit up from above by silvery light. You are outside. You come up gasping for air, about a quarter of the way across the river that flows through the middle of Kare. All around you is pitch darkness. You struggle and flail for a moment to get your head above water, and then turn about to swim for the far bank. And your fleas are washed away. Neat. Okay, so, we took 2 bits of damage there, but the blimberry we found gave us 3, so net gain all around. Right. Swim forward or dive under. I can see, no reason whatsoever to dive under, so let's just swim forward. You swim along the surface of the river, keeping your mouth clear on the filth as best as you can and aiming for distant lights on the far bank. There is a figure moving there, a night watchman of some kind. Keep swimming? You keep on swimming, carving your way quickly across, keen to be out of the Jibaji as soon as possible. Suddenly, a voice rings out across the river. "There's someone in the water," a man's voice calls. "One of the slaves is escaping." Oh no. One by one, more lanterns appear, lighting up like stars as they emerge from around the sides of buildings and down the narrow alleys to the waterfront. Crap. These must be Vix men, right? Oh. Evade their gaze? Dive under. Alright, you dive quickly under the water. For a moment, you are alone, isolated in the brown water. Then something hisses past your face, an arrow. They are firing into the water. Forwards? You keep swimming forwards, but no more arrows strike. Perhaps they have lost track of you in the water, since you are not swimming back as they might have expected, but forwards. You move slowly and silently, coming up for air when you need to, but breathing out softly and gently. After several minutes of this, you arrive at the far bank. Climb out, check that it's safe. Check that it's safe. You wait, shivering in the freezing cold water of the river, but the men and their lanterns are a little further along the bank. You should be safe to climb out here. You haul yourself up and pant, gratefully, in the dark. The far bank. You look around in the darkness. The far bank is less populated than the near bank. There are no inns, no market stalls, just a single path disappearing off into darkness between large stone buildings. You are too tired from your swimming to walk on, so you crawl under a bush and make camp. You are exhausted and can do with something to eat, but there is nothing you can do. All of your food has been ruined by the water. I literally had no food whatsoever. Hey, time to get some rest. You close your eyes and are quickly asleep. Your dreams are cluttered and crazy. Red-eyed beings loom at you. You seem to be walking forward, traps springing at your feet. Face after face laughs as you ask about the spells. 4, says one. There are 11 spells, 13, 49. River water fills your mouth and makes you choke, but the water is thriving with fishes, each of which wants to tell you its life story. Meanwhile, the ghost of Lorag laughs and chortles. I have you right where I want you, he exclaims gleefully. Vaingorn strides over and shakes you by the hand. Thank you for helping me realize the error of my ways, he says. A moment later, he sticks a dagger into your lung. And somewhere beneath your feet, you hear a man cackling with laughter, and the crown is on his head beyond your reach. Boy, that is pretty messed up. Right, from here, I think it might be back to the familiar. Dawn comes, and you're woken by the shimmering light across the surface of the Jabaji River. But the idyllic morning is quickly broken as the first of the boats begins to sail down the river, the sailors cursing and singing filthy songs that echo between the buildings on either side. You have almost become accustomed to the terrible smell here. You follow the road away from the river, towards a fork in the road. If there are any nobles still in the city port, their houses are most likely to be on this side of the river. But which way? Right. So, on our first way through the city, we went up north, and I believe we were assaulted by red eyes. Then we circled down south and were assaulted by a group of orc children and had to conjure riches to escape them. I think this is a compound I speculated to be a prison. And I remember we grew giant and plucked a sun jewel off from the terrace here. Then you continued down south, and here was Lorag's home. I would not mind seeing Lorag again, because we could talk to him about how he's destined to time travel to the foundation of the city and later become a ghost that haunts me. That would be quite interesting to speak with past Lorag. Maybe we could cause a time paradox. God, and there's the statue guarding the bowl of coins. There's the gambling den, which we never went into. There's the merchant stalls. There's the blacksmith with the legendary sword, or large handry sword. But the real thing we're working towards here is finding the blind beggar noble in the Fallen Quarter, as well as the dead noble buried in the necropolis. These are the things we need to look out for. That's a ways away. For now, let's just continue on. The sun is rising over the streets of Upper Carre. A few creatures roam this way and that, unaware that they have walked these streets in just this fashion once before. In one corner, a spring bubbles with fresh water. A drink from the fountain. Oh, incredible. 5 points restored. You cup your hand to the water and drink a mouthful. It is fresh and invigorating. Right. Look around. Move on. Explore of myself. Okay. I think what happened here is that I think we got the attention of a gang of red eyes. We tried to dodge away from them, but they noticed me and they chased after me and I immediately stopped to speak with them. I think that's what we did. I don't think we got as good a look of this area as we possibly could have. Like, if we went down here to Fireview Square, would I be able to go round here to visit Loreg? I hope I can. Let's try that. You turn right, heading away from the city wall. A sign points towards Fireview Square. You pass large houses that have the aspect of official places of business. One is marked with the clawed fist of a moneylender. An elven woman is just leaving. She looks quite worn out already this early in the morning. Talk to the woman. You stop the woman with a gesture. She looks up at you in some surprise. You seem distraught. She looks at you, her narrow eyes wide. Oh, stranger, she moans, you have no idea. The moneylenders here have not been generous? The woman laughs. When are they ever generous? But today they have been cruel. She wipes her eyes with a ragged cuff. But no matter, I should not have expected any different. But what of you, stranger? You do not look like a Carian to me. I am new to Carre. Is that so? She replies. Then maybe, she wipes a tear from her eye, maybe you'll need a guide. I'm supposing she would want monetary compensation. That would be useful. She smiles, the first true smile you have seen on her face. Very good, stranger. I will be happy to help you if I can, for a fee. Where do you want to go? I need to find an undead creature. I need to find a beggar in the ruins. Right! Right, isn't one of the nobles an undead? Not in the necropolis, but haunting the streets. Yeah, I need to find an undead creature. One of the nobles, she nods. In the necropolis, but there are a lot of bodies in the necropolis. It might take a long time to search them all. She nods, clearly pleased. And how much do you charge? Take me there or I will kill you. And how much do you charge? She sizes you up for a moment. 4 gold pieces. Okay, look, we're about to get a windfall from the gold in the statue, so... Pay her half now, half later. Pay her. She smiles. Very well then. She gestures down the street. Tell me your name. Before we begin, you say, tell me your name. You can call me Mish, she nods. Good to meet you, stranger. This way. She heads off along the street. The alley gets wider and passing a long building on the left which seems to be full of children. An orphanage, Mish tells you, full of ne'er-do-wells. On the step, a lanky man sits with his eyes firmly closed. Probably a red eye. We're not in the fallen quarter just yet. This is not the beggar I'm looking for. But I'll look at him. You pause to look him over. He is tall, well-dressed, but not healthy-looking. He seems pale and thin. "Leave it," Mish hisses. I have to have faith that this is not the noble. Well-dressed as he may be, ignore him. You ignore him and keep moving. Your guide is already a few steps ahead. You're back on the approach to Fireview Square. "See that?" Mish says, pointing to the monument at the center of the square with a curious gleam in her eye. "That's one of the great treasures of Kare. If you step inside, you are granted a vision of the whole city from above, so you can see where you need to go." And that's not even close to being true. Huh. Once again, you stand in the plaza of the Red Eyes, the heart of this half of the city port. In all directions, roads lead off, some no doubt to the houses of nobles, and others directly into danger. On the other side of the square, the main road continues on through a low arc. 1,000 other alleyways lead off in all directions into Upper Kare. Ask my guide about the monument. The woman shrugs. "You should look for yourself." Very well. You approach the crowd around the monument, your guide in tow, which is so thick it is hard to see inside. Clambering up the steps of the monument, you finally get to see inside, but the monument seems to be empty. There's just a circular rug that fills the floor space. Right. I know what this is. Your elven guide shrugs. Step inside and take a look properly. The crowd are clustered around the monument as though expecting the rug inside to move. Dude, I hate this elf. Step away. You step away, shaking your head. You're missing out on something wonderful, Mish calls, but then she hurries down the steps after you. Your guide looks about, anxious to move on. Look back at the monument. Right. I could go for Blimberry from this merchant. I think this is the one who scammed me, though. Talk to the herbalist. Good day, he greets you. Can I interest you in a poultice? A salve? What are you selling? Alright. I don't want mustic. What else do you have? Blimberry. Okay, how much? 3 gold! Perfect! Buy it! You hand over 3 gold pieces. The herbalist gives you a salve with a smile. A Blimberry potion. We'll stash it. The potion will come in useful later. You bid the man farewell, and he walks away across the square. A man pushes a wheeled cart of fruit and sets up a stall. Ask my guide to lead on. Through here, she says, waving towards the arch on the far side of the square. Follow her. Wait. Okay, we might be having to say goodbye to Loreg. Oh well. You follow Mish between the narrow buildings until you reach a fork. To the left, the road continues towards some kind of bustling market, while to the right it leads down a shorter street. In the center of the fork, the bronze statue is back on its pedestal once more. Oh my, Mish breathes, look at how much gold there is. She steps towards the statue. Alright, look at the statue. The statue is of a giant brute wielding a club, and at its feet is a large pot filled with gold pieces. This must be one of Kare's many gods, with the pot intended for worshippers making offerings, although none of the passing creatures seem to be throwing any in. Mish's eyes have turned to saucer plates at the side of the money. Why don't you take a look? No, I couldn't. Come on. She begins to head down the road to the right, this way to the undead noble. Follow her. How much further? Let her go. Right, I don't need her. Let her go. You stop in your tracks and do not follow. Go on, you say. I would rather travel alone. She looks at you curiously. Really? She smiles. We are getting to be such good friends. I don't trust you. I think you mean me harm. She nods slowly. You're right, I do, she admits. What? Okay. Well then, stranger, fare you well. She tosses you back 2 gold pieces. Here, I took you halfway after all. She moves away towards an alley, then stops just at its entrance. Listen, to find this undead noble, you need to go into the rich tombs in the necropolis and look for Shinva's mausoleum. She nods to you. Good luck. Then she is gone. Weird, but okay. Statue. Statue, statue, statue. Take the gold. Reach down and scoop the money from the pot into your pouch. Easy enough, but then a creaking noise makes you freeze. Look up. Right. You see the statue's right arm sweeping down towards you. I think we leapt left, and we hopped right into the statue, so let's leap back. You leap backwards, narrowly avoiding being hit. Picking yourself up quickly, you see the bronze giant has leapt from its pedestal and is advancing towards you. Right, previously we summoned a giant. And the giant actually won. We left before the fight finished. But this time, you know what? I'm feeling healthy, and I feel strong. Let's fight it. I want to keep my giant. Draw my sword. You draw your sword to engage the statue. You rush forward, swinging the beautiful sword bought from the blacksmiths. Its keen blade cleaves right through the metal leg of the statue, releasing a billowing cloud of hot gas. The statue staggers from side to side, turning on the spot, and then finally keels over in the dirt of the road. You sheathe your sword and count your gold. 18 pieces. The day is drawing on. Damn, okay. Nice. No, that wasn't even a fight. Right, Right. I want to visit Loreg to the side street. The road continues on between dense houses on either side when suddenly you begin to smell a sharp, acrid smell. Burning. You see a column of smoke. Is the district on fire? Nah, it's just a smith. Right. Blacksmith's at work. What would happen if I showed him my legendary sword that I bought from him? Tap his arm. Alright. I didn't mean to scare you. Right. Tell me about your swords. It has the blade of large hand. Look at the sword. Okay, I can't buy it. There's just no interaction here. I need to find the city nobles. That don't sharp here, he roars back. Okay, enough talking. Up to Loreg. This should be interesting. You can continue up the road, following the base of the cliff face until you pass a large walled mansion on your left. Look at the building. L for Loreg. Enter. You enter the gate and follow the path to the front of the house between tall, well-tended trees. This place, unlike the mansion in Lower Kare, seems quite lived in. Right. As before, I think our best strategy is just to go to the front door and approach as a friend. Right. There's a great brass knocker. Knock. And who are you? You look a trustworthy sort. Right. Mika sent me. I'm a sorcerer like you. I'm just a traveler. I'm a great warrior. I'm from the council. What did we say? I think it was Misha. I'm just gonna say I'm just a traveler. I see, a beggar, you mean. He pats a lizard at his feet, clearly relaxing your company somewhat. I have something for you. Oh. Of course you do, he replies, sneering. So does every murderer. They have a blade. You have angered him, and he no longer wants to talk. The man steps back and snaps a command at his pet. Ericius, attack. The creature is a bristle beast, and it comes leaping forward for your throat, jaws snapping. Give the man my sword. Quickly, you draw your sword and hand it to the man held first. I don't want any trouble, you explain. Please call off that thing. The man accepts your sword and places it on a table by the door. You have a second sword in your pack, after all. Come in, then, he says, putting out his hand. My name is Loreg the Elder, and I am a scholar and a sage. He gestures you further into the house. This way, please. Okay. That was close, but... Follow him into his study, an elegant room lined floor to ceiling with books. I have met your ghost. With great glee, he haunts the north gate of the city. He claims to have founded the city as well. A most curious notion, the wizard replies, not dismissing your remark. I have often thought there are aspects of the city's design that are just as I would have chosen. I will think on it, stranger, believe me. The scholar's pet is winding around his leg. He ruffles its spine absently. There, Ericius, he murmurs. There's a good beast. Right, so... About the north gate. He looks at you seriously. You are on a mission, I see that, but is your mission to destroy Kare, or to save it? I'm only passing through. To the Backlands. No one travels to the Backlands without a reason. So you must be strong and intelligent if your story is true. Let me see. And he goes over to his bookshelf, returning with a paper folder. You know, of course, how magic comes to be in this world? Of course. Right. Back to these. I wasn't able to find these, figure these out before. I know. Constellations. Of a kind, but not quite, he laughs. They are spells, but not spells as we would have them. Right. We've been through all of this. Crap, I don't know if I can get any good headway on this. I think I figured out this was law. So... It's a spell of telepathy? No. Confusion. I believe I know it. Wall? Guess again. Mind reading. Quite right. Well then, I see you truly a sorcerer. Here then is my puzzle. Alright. Do I just guess? God damn, okay. Alright, so... Maybe that's an eye in the center. Maybe this L. Holding the brush with arm outstretched as you were taught, you draw the symbol L. The scholar considers for a long time, breathing through his thick beard. Then he nods deeply. Yes, I do believe you have it, he looks up. Do you know the spell? What does it do? No one knows, but I remember what I saw in the caves of Dadule, and it made my skin shiver. What did you see? But he only shakes his head, his gaze far away. These hills, he says, they were once a very powerful place, very powerful indeed. He files away his pages, taking the one with your drawing on it with particular care. Now I may aid you in return. You wish to learn the spell for the North Gate? I don't mind giving you my line, although it is my secret to keep. Right, he tells you his line and you nod, and it is as you already have been told. Yeah, we read his mind to learn it. Oh, right, so I guess there's nothing really we can get from him. Where can I find the other lines? The keepers of the lines are all leading citizens, but where they are I do not know. At least one of them, Shinva, is dead, but I have heard it is said he still haunts his tomb in the necropolis. But please, before you go, follow me. He gestures across the room to a bookshelf lined with artifacts. Oh, hello. This is new. You follow him across the room. He opens a drawer in a tall cabinet and pulls out something that looks like shocks of green fur. Put this on for me if you would, he says. I wish you'd try an experiment. Isn't a green wig a spell component that we need? Hold on, let me look at my spell book. Hold on here. Let's see. Gold piece, beeswax, bamboo flute, goblin tooth, a vial of glue, giant's tooth, medicinal potion, pebble, sand, skullcap, nose plugs, black face mask, gold-backed mirror, jewel of gold, firewater, stone dust, yellow powder gale horn, oak sapling, brass pendulum, jewel-studded medallion, pearl ring, bracelet of bones, sun jewel, green-haired rigs. Okay, hello. Okay, wrap. To use the spell, the caster must be wearing a green-haired wig. In conjunction with this wig, the spell will allow the caster to understand the language of and communicate with creatures speaking a non-human tongue. Okay, and yap. The spell allows the caster to understand the languages of and communicate with most animals. Okay. So, hear and understand all voices. Right, so I could speak to his pet. I could speak to his pet, Erikius. Take the wig. Now, Loreg says, put it on. He is pulling something from his own pocket as he speaks, what looks like a skull cap made of white cloth. Hold on. The skull cap lets you read minds, right? We just saw that. Hold on. What's he pulling? Skull cap. Where was it? Here. Okay, so he's gonna try and read my mind while I have the wig on. Okay, put on the wig. You pull the wig over your head, feeling quite ridiculous. Loreg smiles and puts the white skull cap on his own head, and begins to cast a strange-sounding spell, speaking in syllables that sound more like goblin than the ancient tongue of magic. I mean, let's see what options we have for spells. Let's see, R, A, P, talk all languages. I could hear what he's saying in Goblin, yes! Cast the spell, you are immediately able to understand the words Loreg is saying. My will becomes your will. You are a mere pet, a creature, a subject, do you understand me? He is trying to take control of your mind telepathically. But since you can understand his words, they are not effective, and you simply laugh in reply. You see him try to alter the shape of the magic, twisting it this way and that, but nothing works. It seems your protection spell has foxed him. After a few minutes, he removes his skull cap and nods. Thank you, it would seem my calculations were in error after all. He smiles weakly. And please, keep the wig! In this city, he says, sometimes the creatures know more than the menfolk. This may be of use to you. Loreg shows you to the door, you retrieve your sword as you go. Hell yeah, that didn't even cost any stamina to cost. Excellent. Green wig, we just unlocked 2 new spells. You return to the main road. Right, guess we have to go here. You turn down a side alley, past large houses on either side. On the left, you can just make out the roof of a mansion, from which a tattered flag is flying. Oh, a mansion? Oh. Yeah, an L. It's Loreg's mansion, it's right there. Right. Well, back to the square. You follow the narrow alley, which emerges back into the square with the monument at its center. The creatures in the square mill about, talking in hushed tones to each other. I could buy some rations from the fruit vendor, maybe. Let's visit the fruit seller. You walk over to the fruit seller. Morning, he declares morosely. His eyes, like everyone else's, are closed. I'd say it was a beautiful day, but it isn't. Would you like to buy something? He waves a hand across an eclectic tray of fruit, all of it rotten except for one glistening bomba fruit. Look at the bomba. 4 gold pieces, the vendor replies. They're good for you, you know. I know. I got a great bomba in Act 1. Definitely buy it. You hand over 4 gold pieces and the vendor takes the bomba fruit and drops it into your arms. It is heavy, but smells ripe, and the flesh is usually excellent. I had a friend, he remarks, who ate 5 of these every day. Never got ill, but then he never got out of the privy either. Oh. Okay. I'm just gonna leave. Alright. Back to the square. You return to the middle of the square. From around the monument, you hear a sudden gasp. Something has happened? You look around the various exits from the square. And I assume something happened to the, Oh. Hello. Something happened to the shrine. Maybe someone stepped through. Okay. Okay, this is curious. I could go up this alley. We never did that. Like, no matter what happens, I'd probably be running into trouble, but I could see what's right here. You never know. I think I might do that next time. So, yeah, next time is promising to be very exciting. We are absolutely going to head into the Fallen Quarter. We're going to find the blind beggar, who is a noble in disguise, or rather, a noble fallen from grace. Get a word there. And then we can go into the necropolis, something we completely skipped, because in our first go-through, we went down a well that was somewhere around here, and we went underground, and we popped back up here. So, yeah, most of the Fallen Quarter, the necropolis, and all of this forest path up to the ziggurat. There's a lot left to uncover. Hopefully, we can get all the words, but I would not mind another trip around. Like, another time loop, because, like, it would cost permanently losing 1 bit of stamina. I dropped into a max of 18, but the sheer amount of supplies and goodies I could find would be amazing. Now that I actually have gold, we can actually buy something from the Dwarf Town shop. We had to just pick our way through, couldn't look at anything. Couldn't buy anything, rather. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling like we're in the tail end here of Act 2. I'm quite excited to get to the Backlands, start at Act 3. It's going to be interesting because Act 3 and 4 are actually separate games. On Steam, I mean, Act 1 and 2 are bundled as one video game. So technically when I get to Act 3, I'll have to quit out of this and boot up another game to continue. Which will be interesting, but I'm sure it'll work. Anyway, I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been more Sorcery. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until then, please, take care.